YouTube? It's your girl AK and we are back with another video. Okay, so first job, first salary. Hold on, don't blow it. It's your first time touching big girl money. Like, hold on, like I don't really know what to do with this. Look, I got you. Listen. We're both fresh out of college. We're both figuring these things out, right? It's been about 8 months since I graduated and I've been working. About 6 to 7 months I've been working in the field. It's been an interesting journey, like going from staying on campus to getting my own apartment to getting a big girl job and then getting big girl money. So the goal of this video is to walk you through practical steps where you can properly budget your salary, reach your financial goals, avoid debt, and start building a solid foundation for the future. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, so with a big salary comes big responsibility. I can't lie, it's very exciting. It's like, dang, I'm finally getting this big girl money. Like, I remember when I was in college, like if I had like $200, $300, I thought I was big balling. Like I thought I was really like up there. Like now it's just so interesting, like seeing how much a person can really make, like how much money you can really make. It's actually kind of crazy. At the same time, it can also be kind of overwhelming, especially if you have bills, right? So if you're living in your own apartment or you're paying like a car note, paying your own insurance, all those different things, it can be pretty overwhelming just having all these bills at one time. I mean, college, you had your meal plans, so you didn't have to cook for yourself, you didn't worry about groceries for real. You didn't have to worry about paying a light bill or a power bill because that was all done for you. Once you graduate, you're on your own. Literally, you're paying for everything, and it can be very overwhelming. So to help mitigate some of that fear and anxiety, my goal is to provide a simple budgeting framework that you can use and you can start practicing on your own. So the very first important thing that you need to do is understanding your finances. That means you need to track your income, you need to track your expenses, you need to track what's coming in, what's coming out. So when you're tracking your income, you gotta keep track of the base salary, right? As well as, because it's not just salary, you have total comp. I wasn't really taught about that for real, but you have your total compensation, right? So you have like your different benefits for your employer, where they pay for your health insurance, eye doctor insurance, dental insurance, or whatever. You have your 401k, you have all those different things that also come into play. And as far as expenses, right, you have to keep track of your rent, other bills that are very important, the non-essentials, like when you wanna go have fun and do other things like that, as well as saving money for yourself. So a couple great tools you can use to kind of help you stay within your budget. A lot of people like to use NerdWallet. I actually used NerdWallet for a while. You're able to put your different expenses on there, and it actually tracks using something called the 50-30-20 rule. And that's something I'm gonna talk about a little bit more. And it's gonna constantly update your network. So it tells you when your network increases and when your network decreases. And sometimes it makes you feel bad because it's like, dang, my network just decreased, you know, like, and it's kind of funny because they call it your network, but you don't really see yourself as having a network. Like people think of like a lot of famous and rich people having networks, but it does tell you like, hey, your network went up, your network went down. It's like, oh, okay, it's kind of cool. So I did use that app for a while, but I kind of moved away from it. Personally, I just like to write things down. I would literally take my iPad and I would just like open up GoodNotes and I would just write down like all my expenses of what's coming in, or I'll write down my income salary before and after taxes, and I would literally budget out from there, and I would constantly go back and look at it to make sure I'm on track for each month. But that's just a me thing. I just really like writing things down because it helps me commit to what I actually need to do. So we talked about understanding your finances, but you also need to prioritize and set financial goals for yourself. Well, first and foremost, you have to start with your short-term goals, right? So maybe you want to save for a particular vacation, or maybe you're trying to save for a new phone, right? These can be like some small goals that you're saving for. And after you establish your short-term goals, then you can establish your long-term goals, right? So that could be building up your emergency fund. Your emergency fund should be about 3 to 6 months of monthly expenses. That's what a lot of financial blogs say, and that's kind of what I follow as well. Another long-term goal could be paying off debt. So that student loan debt, man, they hit me with that notice right before Christmas, y'all. I was like, oh, really, before Christmas? But yeah, that student loan debt, like after that 6 months grace period, yeah, you about to get that bill, I promise you. They're not playing about their money. Basically, paying back your debt is important. So having enough money set aside for that, as well as investing, right? So what are you putting your money into to help you grow? So personally, we have a company stock. So like it automatically pulls money from my paycheck and my company actually matches that, which is really cool. So no matter each time when I put money into the stock, the employers are gonna constantly match what I put in. So I'm always gonna get 100% back in my gains. So that's a great, if your company has a stock opportunity, like a stock matching opportunity, get on that because it's literally free money. Get on that. I also have a 401k, the Roth option, right? So you have your regular 401k and then you have the Roth 401k. A Roth 401k is post-tax, right? So regular 401k is pre-tax. So they don't take out taxes when you're putting that money in. So the taxes are actually growing. So when you hit like, when you get to like 59 and a half years old and you want to pull that money out, you're also hit with a bunch of taxes, right? But when you do the Roth option, since you have post-tax money going into that 401k, you don't have to pay taxes when you pull it out, which is really great, and you're gonna appreciate that in the future. Okay, so mastering your money. What are some strategies for success? Like I said before, I really like the 50-30-20 rule. The 50-30-20 rule is 50% goes to your needs, 30% goes to your wants, and 20% goes to your savings/investments. So let's focus more on that 20%, that savings part. A really great habit to have is to have your bank account automatically pull from your savings account like every 2 weeks. So every time you're getting paid, just have it, like that same day you get paid, just have it pull it automatically then. Whatever percentage you're pulling, right? If you're pulling the full 20%, that's cool. If you have some going to investments and you have some going to your savings, whatever amount you choose to put in your savings, have that percentage automatically pulled into your savings account every time you get paid, to where you don't even have to think about it. Like and over time you just look at this like, dang, this account's really growing. So more strategies for success. Minimizing unnecessary expenses, right? So like I said, you have these percentages, right? You have your 50% for your needs, you have your 30% for your wants. You really shouldn't be exceeding that 30%. And if you are, that means you need to cut back on your expenses. I know you want to go splurge. I know you just got your big girl money, right? I know you want to go run up in the mall, but listen. The moment you start overspending over your 30%, where else are you gonna pull from? You're not pulling for your needs, because you gotta pay the rent. You gotta pay the light bill, you gotta pay the water bill, right? So you're probably pulling from your savings account, and pulling from your savings or like your investments is very bad, because that's how we're actually able to grow our wealth and multiply our wealth over time. We don't want to do that. So look, in a couple of years, you know, your income is going to grow. We're entry level. We just got into the field. Like, relax, all right? Your income's gonna grow. Stick to that 30% rule. I promise you, you're gonna be okay. And if you really need, like, if you really just need to splurge, if you really have the urge just to splurge and spend your money and go shopping, then create yourself a splurge budget, right? And again, that's that 30%. So let's say there's something you really want, like you've been dying to buy, like it's like a brand new computer, right? But you know it's gonna be over your 30%. So let's say you're getting paid bi-weekly, right? That first week, maybe cut back on that 30%, maybe chill a little bit, right? That second week, that other 30% is gonna add on top of that. So now you actually have a total of 60% of your income. It's really 30. But since you saved that other 30%, you kind of have 60 to work with, and now you have a lot more that you could splurge with on something big, right? If you really want to save up for something, think of it in that mindset. Like, okay, if I save this 30% and then I save this 30%, and then I save one more 2 week period, so I have another 30%, it's like 90% income. I can really splurge, you know, like you can really splurge now. So think of it in that mindset, and that might actually help you. Okay, and finally, staying on track and building a secure future. Something you really need to do is regularly maintain and regularly adjust your budget, right? Because there may be situations where life happens, right? Maybe some emergency happened where you had to pull money from somewhere. I mean, you should have that emergency fund, so that shouldn't even be a problem. But let's say for some reason you have to spend a little bit more, so you have to adjust for the next month, or something positive could have happened. Let's say you got a bonus or you got a raise, right? So now you have more money to work with, so you can actually factor in that added income and see what your new 50% is, see what your new 30%, your new 20% is, and you can adjust from there. It's just really important to remember to adapt to the changing circumstances. Another thing you can do is like seeking financial advice, right? So we talked a little bit about investing. So if you really want to get into investing, but you're really not sure what to do or how to start, it might be a good idea to talk to a professional in the financial field, or if not, talk to them, maybe find someone on YouTube who has your financial advising license, and you can seek help and tips from that person. Because sometimes it's very scary to kind of go into the saving and investing world without any prior experience. So if you actually do your research into people who know what you're talking about and listen to their tips on what they advise, that can actually really help you grow in the future. And finally, you just want to develop good financial habits for really a lifetime, right? So how can you do that? That comes with constantly educating yourself about financial literacy, constantly educating yourself about what's going on in the world, right? Personally, I love to read books. That kind of helps me a lot. I read a lot of financial books. So when it comes to like making like really good habits, I like to read Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's a really good book. It's not necessarily a financial book, but it is a psychology book where it kind of helps you make good habits and break bad ones. So if you find yourself constantly splurging when you're not supposed to, or you're trying to make a good habit of saving or investing, maybe that book can give you some tips about it. Another book I read that I really like is called Rich Dad Poor Dad. Basically, it's more of like a entrepreneurial type book. However, it makes you think different about how money works and how people attain money. And it makes you reconsidering, like if you wasn't thinking about investing in the future or putting your money towards some kind of vehicle to grow your money, it definitely makes you rethink that. It makes a lot of good points and a lot of differences about what poor people do with their money and what the wealthy do with their money. And after you read the book, it's like, dang, I kind of have like the poor people habits that he's talking about, right? And I want to make more of the wealthy people habits. So it's just a good book to make you aware of like what better habits you can probably obtain and going forward. But that's it for this video. I hope you find it helpful. I just want to give you my tips and kind of what I've been going through for the past like 7-8 months. But so far it's been going really well. I really can't complain. We only been elevated from there. Speaking of elevating, if you have not noticed, my channel name has changed. Yeah. So my channel name is now Elevate with AK. It matches my new Instagram handle that I've changed a while back. I think that name just kind of matches my channel a lot more. It matches my brand a lot more. Like, all I talk about is basically elevating, right? When it comes to adulting 101, when it comes to personal finances, when we're talking about tech or like my career, all I talk about is basically elevating, being motivational, like being inspired by something. It's your girl AK. That was cool and all in college. Like, yeah, it was fun. It was cool, like the blogs and stuff. But I think it's time for a more mature era in my life, right? So Elevate with AK is the channel name. Let me know what you think about it. I mean, if you don't like it, too bad, it's staying. So, but yeah, I appreciate you guys for tuning in for this video. If you made it this far, make sure you like the video. If you're new, go ahead and subscribe for more content like this, and you can hit that bell icon for notifications. I hope you're having a blessed and amazing day. Let me know down in the comments if there's anything else you want me to talk about in the adulting space when it comes to graduating college, moving to your new career, new apartment, everything. You know, just let me know what you want me to talk about. All right. But until next time, bye.